My name is Sarah Birungi Banage, and I work with the Uganda National Oil Company as the head of corporate affairs. I'm happy to be here.
Wow, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm Angel Karungi Byakutaga. I work with the corporate affairs team at the Uganda National Oil Company.
All right. So Sarah and Angel, welcome to UPC Television. And maybe just give us a brief. How is Eacop?
So the Eacop is the Uganda National Oil Company that is a limited liability company wholly owned by the government of Uganda with two shareholders. That's the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development with a 51% shareholding, and the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development with 49% shareholding. We are mandated to handle the commercial interests of the country in the oil and gas sector. We operate across the entire petroleum value chain, that's midstream, upstream, and downstream. We have 15% participating interest in the Kingfisher Project and the Tilanga Project. Kingfisher is located in Chikubu in Hoima district. It is mainly we are joint venture partners with Total Energies and Sinok Uganda Limited, where Sinok is the main operator. And Tilanga, we are joint venture partners still with Sinok, where Total Energies is the main operator. They are in Tilanga. Yes, we have other projects like the refinery that will be housed in the Kabalega Industrial Park. We have storage terminals, the Jinja Storage Terminal in Jinja, and the Kampala Storage Terminal, which is in Namwambula, Mpigi district.
Okay.
Yes, in a brief, those are our projects.
Wow, these are amazing projects. I wanted to start off with the Tilanga Project. Tell us more about the Tilanga Project. Now, speak to the Ugandan who is watching today for the first time, probably has heard Tilanga for the first time. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Tilanga is actually two words. It is till. Where Tilanga is situated, there were so many corps, the Uganda Corps. Now, till is the Luo meaning or translation of the corps. So that's why you see the till.
Yes.
Then Enga, is a short of Engabi,
yes,
which is the same corps, but this is the Runyoro translation. So when you join till in Luo, and then you have Enga in Hoima, you get then the Tilanga. So that's how the name is coined. But really, like Angel was saying, the Tilanga Project, the main operator is Total Energies. It is a bigger project in the sense that it will be able to produce 190,000 barrels of crude oil. Yes, so it is the bigger project with a capacity of 190,000 barrels every day.
Per day?
Yes, per day. And so, and with the Tilanga Project, in terms of where it is now, the compensation is complete. The compensation was completed and houses have been built for those primary residents, which means they were living there. The houses have been built and they've been handed over. Some are still under construction. So the Tilanga Project, when we received the final investment decision in 2021, that set the stage for construction. So construction has been going on in terms of clearing the area where the field where the earthworks, so to speak, where the central processing facility will be housed. That's the starting point. So it's a beehive of activities there. The earth moving equipment, the preparation of the central processing facility, and the camps that people are going to live in while they're working there. All that is actually ongoing. And so there's a lot of work going on right now at the Tilanga Project. So that, in terms of the
Yes.
first rig actually arrived. The first one arrived in October last year, and then the second rig arrived in December of the same year. So they have been assembled. The first rig is complete. That is the one in the north of the Nile at Nuoya. That one has been
Nuoya
assembled.
district, okay.
Yes.
So that means you're saying that there are 2 rigs
yes, that
readily
have
available
arrived.
that have arrived.
Yes, and the first one actually has been completed in terms of assembly. It is ready to be deployed for work.
Yes.
The second assembling of the second rig is underway, and that is the one in Bulisa. Yes, assembling of that one is underway, and so when that is done, then this project, the Tilanga Project, will be ready to do what we call spudding. Spudding is where you launch the drilling. So you assemble the rigs and then you launch the drilling for the first time. Yeah.
That's spudding.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's really, the Tilanga Project is at that point, the 2 rigs. I mean, we're just waiting to go working towards the timelines of first oil in 2025. So now that's really about the Tilanga Project operated by Total Energies.
Okay.
Now, moving on to the Kingfisher.
Yes.
Kingfisher is the other project, as she ably informed you. The main operator is Sinok, and there we have the rig assembled, and actually spudding took place on the 23rd of January this year.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so it was assembled, and the spudding has taken place, and so it's already, the drilling has begun. Because you drill and case and until you get down to the first oil, and then it's ready to come out. And so the timeline for 2025 would be like we're online with that. So compensation was done, houses have been built and handed back and handed to their owners who opted for houses. The entire resettlement action plan that was designed following the environment social impact assessment studies has been implemented bit by bit, and really a lot of that has been done. That's why we are now talking about the rig in place and the spudding has taken place, and so we are all really in this excitement mood that now the drilling is taking place. All of us working towards first oil. So that's really about the Tilanga Project. I think that is
Tilanga, then Kingfisher.
Yeah, and Kingfisher.
The Kingfisher Project, where is it situated, or where is it located? Is it the same as the Tilanga Project, or these are all projects that are all in different, places?
Yes, yes.
So Kingfisher is located in the Buhuka Flats in Kiangwali. Yes, that's where the main operator Sinok operates.
Okay.
It's different, completely different from Tilanga.
Oh, okay, so explain to us the significance of Kingfisher in this Kingfisher project in Uganda's oil and gas sector.
The Kingfisher?
Yes. Explain to the Ugandan who's watching today the significance of Kingfisher. You said it's in the
Buhuka Flats.
Buhuka Flats.
Yes.
Okay, the Kingfisher Project is a smaller one, whereas I told you Tilanga, they're 2 different projects operated by 2 different people.
Yes.
Total Energies out of France, and the Sinok on the Kingfisher out of China. So, yes, out of China. So these are two different projects located at two different places with two different capacities. The other one has, you remember I told you Tilanga has 190,000 barrels. It's a bigger one in terms of production. The Kingfisher one is 40,000 barrels. Yes. Now, in these two projects, UNOC, which is Uganda's government of Uganda's representative commercial interests thereof, we own 15% in each of them. We own 15% in Tilanga, and we own 15% interests in Kingfisher. Yes. So so both projects are critical and crucial because the amount of the barrels coming out is the total we have as a country daily in order to refine some and export some. So I was still telling you that apart from those two projects, it necessitated us, one, to have a pipeline.
Yes. Because
you have to get the oil and a means of transporting it to the market.
Sure.
Yeah. So that is where the East African crude oil pipeline comes in, and because we are land linked, we needed a shore, a port to export to the external markets, and that's how Tanzania comes in. So the East African crude oil pipeline is running all the way from where these projects are down in Hoima, all the way through Uganda, out the borders to Tanzania and to the port. That's the pipeline journey. So it runs up to the port in order to have this crude oil that you've removed from both Tilanga and Kingfisher transported to international markets, all refineries out there in order to refine it. Because what is so important to remember, that the crude oil as it is not usable. It can't be used. You need to transport it. You need to refine it, firstly, in order to get a usable product.
So that's where the refinery.
That's where the Uganda refinery comes in. So we have a refinery as one of our strategic projects, and that refinery has a capacity to refine on a daily 60,000 barrels. So I told you about the 190,000 barrels,
yes,
and then the 40,000 barrels. That makes, is it 230,000
yes,
barrels? Of the 230,000 barrels, the refinery of Uganda has a first call of 60,000 removed in order to be refined, so that you can have jet fuel, you can have diesel to be used, you can have petrol, and you can actually have gas, LPG gas. Because the crude is very thick, it's very waxy. The moment you remove it from the ground and it's exposed to this ordinary temperature, it would harden. It would just harden and is not usable. And that's exactly why that pipeline I have talked about is heated. It is a heated pipeline so that this crude is able to move, that its waxy nature is melted so that it moves down, down, down all the way to Tanga to be exported to other refineries.
So the journey it makes a journey from Uganda, is that what you're saying? That
Yes.
makes a journey from Uganda,
Yes.
throughout all the regions that this pipeline passes through, all the way to Tanga.
Yes.
And
10
by the
districts to be precise.
10
Districts, yes. In Uganda, 10 districts. Tanzania's journey is even longer because, the shortest part of it is actually here in Uganda. The Tanzanian route is even longer, and it is heated and it is buried.
Wow.
Yes. Now, the 60,000 barrels, which precisely is like 9.5 million liters usable. Now, those are the liters that you can use in your car, when you refine that, you get that on a daily basis. And so we are able to have a finished product that we find usable. And that's why the refinery was so important, because without the refinery, it would mean all the 230,000 barrels are exported and then would continue importing the finished product to use in our cars and all the other things I've mentioned. So the refinery is indeed a very important strategic project. So I've gone through the two projects. I've gone through the Eacop project, and I've also mentioned the refinery and why Uganda is set on the right trajectory to have all this happening. There are other projects that NGO can actually talk about, because you can't have a refinery and refine a product without having where to store it.
Absolutely. So NGO can take us through that. Then I will ask the question that many Ugandans are probably asking in their minds right now: the journey from Uganda to TZ, and we'll get to that question just after Angel gives us more information on other.
Yes, so I will expound on the storage terminals.
Yes.
I'll start with the Jinja storage terminal, obviously located in Jinja. It's a 30 million litre capacity terminal that was handed over to the Uganda National Oil Company in 2017. And we had a joint venture partnership for 5 years with One Petroleum Limited, which handed over towards the end of 2022, and we officially took over 100% management and operatorship on 20th January 2023. So we are fully operating it, full management. It's a storage terminal where we keep all kinds of petroleum products like diesel and petrol. Then we also have the Kampala storage terminal, which is located in Namwambula, Mpigi district. It has a capacity of 320 million liters of petroleum products. Well, what we hope to get from this is proper storage of the petroleum products. It will act as storage for products going through all the way to Kenya and Rwanda. So yes, those are the terminals we have currently.
Now back to the East African crude oil pipeline. The question that I wanted to ask, that's on my mind and probably must be on many of Ugandans' mind, is I want to know about the terms and, first of all, the whole the journey that it takes from Uganda to Tanzania. Those are 10 districts and probably other regions and sub-counties that are in Tanzania. Those are many people, that are being affected by, this journey. What are the terms of compensation for, of the project for the affected, affected people in Uganda and also in Tanzania?
Okay, well, the actual total of project affected people, and by affected, there are different types of being affected. You could be directly affected, as in you live there, your home is there. Then you could be economically affected. You don't live there, but you were farming in that corridor that is required, and so you need to farm somewhere else, but you were not living there. So in that whole number of people affected is actually 3,792 in Uganda
alone.
Yes,
3,792
people
in
Uganda. Now, I want you to understand something very clearly, that all those people, actually only 4% is directly, properly, and completely affected. They lived there.
Oh, just 4% of the 3,000.
Yes.
Okay.
So the 96, they were economically affected. Maybe they were farming there, they were doing economic activities there, but certainly not living there. Yes. So that is the number we are looking at. Now, in terms of those 3,792, where are we in terms of compensation? We are at 78%. Of those, 78% have so far been compensated properly, following the guidelines of the Resettlement Action Plan, because before you do projects of this nature that involve land acquisition, the starting point is an environmental social impact assessment. You find out what's the environment like and what is being affected, and then you put in place mitigation measures. How do we mitigate the problems coming out of having such a project?
Yes.
So that was done, and for this particular project, we followed the in-country laws, but even went up and above that, that the Resettlement Action Plan put in place also followed very stringent guidelines of the International Finance Corporation, an arm of the World Bank, which basically means you are following the Ugandan laws and even those stringent guidelines, and those are looking at how best to leave people, most preferably better than you found them. And so that's why you see people were offered options: a house for a house, land for land, or money, depending on the option you wanted. And you need to take a visit down there. The houses, the replacement houses that have been built have changed the landscape of those places.
Wow.
The houses are different, they're beautiful, they have solar systems for lighting, kitchen, the bathroom, the bedrooms, concrete, because that is not the kind of structure that we found.
Yes.
But because of these guidelines, you're supposed to leave people highly improved from what you found them. So in the compensation process, 78% is done. It means people have received their money, put it to good use, and are smiling.
And are satisfied.
And are satisfied.
Okay, so
exactly.
Sarah, I'm going to stop you right there. We're going to go for a very short break, and we'll continue, of course, after the break. We're still talking about oil and gas projects here in Uganda and their updates. I have two lovely ladies who are here explaining all this information to you, dear viewer who is watching today. We take a short break and return.
Our television. 3 years ago, your public broadcaster launched a weekly 2-hour television flagship program, Behind the Headlines.
A very warm welcome, and I want to welcome you to this edition of Behind the Headlines. My name is Charles Odongso, and we are back yet again.
Now, the public broadcaster is engaging gear to explore the next level in the public discourse space, delving into what is really behind the headlines. Connect with a new era of public discourse as Behind the Headlines, the must-watch weekly talk show, introduces your new host, Timothy Nyangweso. With a fresh perspective and innovative ideas, Timothy is set to take the show to new heights while continuing the legacy of excellence established by Charles Odongso. Join us on May 31st, 2023 as Timothy and Charles co-host an unforgettable episode of Behind the Headlines. With their combined expertise, insightful commentary, and engaging personalities, this promises to be a show you won't want to miss. Tune in and be part of the conversation as we explore the most pressing issues facing our society today. Behind the Headlines, where knowledge meets innovation.
Welcome back from the break, and we're glad that you're still watching UBC Television. I'm Lauryn Masiika Kazimoto. Tonight with me I do have Sarah and Angel, and they're here talking about oil and gas project updates. And this is a very interesting topic that we've been discussing. We've been discussing about the different projects that are in Uganda, refineries, Tilanga, Kingfisher, Eacop, and I hope that you are, getting the information right, and of course you're getting it right here from the horse's mouth, from Sarah, and of course from Angel. Angel, I want to get to you. We were just, before the break, we were talking about compensation and how you've been compensating these people. Now, I want to know the criteria, like how, step by step, how do you reach out to these people? What do you tell them? How do you prepare them? Safety. Because now these are areas that, you know, it's a passage for crude oil. What do you tell, you know, the communities in these affected areas?
Yes, so we have several measures put in place before we start interacting with the communities. First of all, there are environmental social impact assessments that are carried out for each and every project to make sure we are in line with community guidelines, to make sure we are not completely destroying the lives of these people. So there are environmental social impact assessments that we carry out. Thereafter, we assess specific areas of land where these projects are going to be and where, for example, the pipeline is going to go through. So specifically for the East African crude oil pipeline, we take the project affected persons, those are the PAPs, through financial literacy training, because if we are compensating you, if you decide to go with the money compensation, it's not just a matter of depositing it on your account. We have to train you on how to, first of all, open up a bank account. If you're a couple, we make sure both of you are physically there. It's not a matter of going to the man alone or the woman alone. We make sure the couple, yes, we make sure the couple is right there in front of us physically, take you through bank account opening, how to handle these finances, how to invest, maybe how to, you know, so that you are set for the future. Then we also have livelihood restoration programs where we don't just relocate you and your garden and leave you there. We follow up. So we provide food to these project affected people for a period to sustain them for 12 months after the relocation has been done. So during this time we are providing food, you know, teaching you how to live with the relocation even after, and not just leaving you hanging. Yes, so that's how we make sure we are there with them every step of the way, from beginning to end, even after.
Now, have you ever had cases whereby you have resistant locals or people who are like, no, you cannot pass your thing here on my piece of land? And how have you dealt with that particular challenge, if any?
Yes, so another thing that we do as we are assessing, as we are doing resettlement action plans, we take them through town halls. There have been town halls where we invite everyone in the community affected, or just anyone who's curious to know about what's going on. We brief them with every single detail. If there are grievances, each and every Total Energies, CNOC, UNOC, we all have grievance mechanism systems that we log. So we log your grievance, we have a solution. If there's no immediate solution, we go review and come back to you. So yeah, we have those grievances there because, I mean, you're directly affecting these people. So we take them through as a mechanized system, log it into the system, get a solution, revert back if it's not immediately there. So yes, we make sure we are always communicating with these people.
Okay, I want to. Yes,
so it's interesting the way this whole process has been done. It's been done very well, actually, and to the extent that Uganda and these particular projects are being used as case studies. Yeah, different countries which are infrastructure projects coming here to benchmark on how to do a good resettlement action plan. And even if, like she said, Ebly, that if it didn't go well, you have a very good grievance resolution mechanism in place. Yeah, so it's been going well, quite well.
Okay, so I want us to go to the Tilanga Project. And also the other projects as well. Let's also talk about the other projects as well. Apart from, you know, telling the locals that, you know, we're going to put a pipeline right here, it's going to maybe run through this piece of land, or it's going to run through this area. Let's talk about the employment opportunities. Have you given these people, you know, because once they start seeing big companies coming in and saying, oh, we're doing this, have you also involved the locals in these projects?
Yes, so we have two specific databases that we always encourage people to register on. That's the National Oil and Gas Talent Register And then we also have the National Supplier Database that are both housed by the Petroleum Authority of Uganda. So we always encourage people to go on there if they have any kinds of businesses that they want to, they want the oil and gas companies to get engaged in, if they want to be contractors, whatever it is. We always encourage them to go to the Petroleum Authority of Uganda website to have this registration done, and anytime any of the companies want to hire or subcontract, that's the first that's the first point of contact. And on top of this, we recently did a training. For the locals in Masindi. We actually physically took them through step by step on how to get this registration done, because we don't want a case of I didn't know how to get online, I didn't know which website to go to, I got stuck here. So we actually sat down with them and went through that with them. In addition, we also have the quarterly supplier development workshops that we carry out. We've carried them out in Kampala, Hoima, Masindi. So we invite the different suppliers. Please come listen to us as we take you through how to get contracts, how to properly set up your bid to get awarded a contract with the oil and gas companies. We answer all your questions. There's a lot of dialogue that we've done with these suppliers, a lot of encouragement and guidance on where to go, who to talk to, and yeah, that kind of thing.
You wanted to add something?
Oh yeah, but there's also the opportunity of direct employment. There is direct employment, indirect employment, and even induced employment in such projects. I have some numbers I can share actually.
Yes, please.
At peak, we have 6,400, and this is just for Tilanga. For the Tilanga Project.
Yes.
Yeah, I know for a fact that at peak they have 6,478 Ugandans employed,
Wow.
In terms of the staff, the actual staff for Tilanga,
Yes.
and even the contractors that they've given jobs to, and that's like a representation of in terms of Ugandans, because you have 72% Ugandan staff, okay, and then they have 95% contractors, all Ugandan, in that just one project employed as a result of this project. And so the spiral just continues as you move from project to project. The employment induced, indirect is really huge. But not just that, because apart from employment, there is the knowledge transfer, the skills you get.
Yes.
You see, our people are working with some of these great guys who have done this work before us, and also they're doing very new things, because oil and gas is a new thing. So the skilling taking place there, the knowledge transfer, I mean, it's a world of, just to give you an example, we as Eacop trained 25 youths in international metal fabrication and welding. So they get certificates of an international level, meaning they can work here
even outside Uganda
in welding, metal fabrication. So that skilling is for a lifetime. And recently we were also training, that's for the youth, but if we were to go down to local people, we train farmers. The training and that knowledge transfer is something that is really something that really is going very, very well. So the benefits, and not just the jobs, the training, and like she said, the suppliers are doing a totally amazing job in addition to all that.
Okay, now still with Tilanga, let's talk about the environmental management plans and strategies in place to minimize the project's ecological impact, and also to promote environment stewardship. Angel, could you give us some insight on that?
Yes, so for the Tilanga project, Total Energies is very passionate about biodiversity management, and they have carried out various projects to make sure they are helping regenerate the environment, give back to the communities surrounding. So they are involved in sensitization of the communities of different flora and fauna around the projects, and they also give back to the students in the Albertine region. They signed an MOU with Gayaza High School, where they it was an agreement that some of the best performing students from the Albertine region would be given spots in Gayaza High School to study from there, while being sponsored. So they are very, very involved in the communities. They involved in various projects in giving back.
That's really wonderful. Okay, now let's get back to Eacop. Now that's Tilanga. Let's go to Eacop. How has it also given back to the communities in Uganda and also in Tanzania?
Yes, so Eacop, like I said, they take people through livelihood restoration programs, not only just during but even after. They have built houses and made sure that the gardens that were impacted are exactly what they're giving back. Whatever it is, from maize, beans. So I'll let Sarah second.
And because we are joint venture partners, these are our joint venture partners. So in terms of giving back, and then I would say that different companies, generally the sector is doing a lot of good things there. I talked about the training of the youth.
Yes.
I talked about the training of farmers. She's brought in the aspect of the livelihood. Basically, they set you off on a path and watch over you for a year. You know, but there are also some projects, specific medical health projects that have been put in place. The environmental projects for us at UNOC, we also have a very big project in terms of the Go Green one. You know, so we are in partnership, and really the whole aspect here is to plant up to 40 million trees. 40 million trees, and this really, because you brought up the environment part. The 40 million trees is over like 5 to 7 years, and so far we've planted 2,250 at UPIC, the Polytechnic. So in terms of the environment, the respective companies and also together as jointly, we are very passionate about the environment, biodiversity, trees, then the communities, health, water facilities, actual education. Our CEO, I'll tell you, our CEO has a program. It's called Keep a Girl in School. And it is a beautiful program in the sense that she mentors them, she gives them reading materials, but also she's encouraged different staff, including herself, to take on some physically, in terms of physical scholastic materials and school fees. But then our partners, the Total and Eacop and Sinok, are doing tremendous things down there in the field. It is worth like a visit to see how livelihoods have been transformed. People will never be the same in terms of skilling, education, agriculture, you know, the works really.
That's really good. You're doing a very good job there, and I know people, those on ground, are actually seeing all the impact that, you know, all these different projects, lives have really been changed. Now let's talk about the collaboration between the government, the international oil companies, the local stakeholders. Now this is a Kingfisher really, in ensuring the responsible and sustainable development of the Kingfisher Project.
Well, the starting point really we have is the agreements in place. At the entrance, there are production sharing agreements that stipulate out what every party will bring on table, and so those were done, and those were done. So then now in implementation or in operation, we work very well with them because we are the Ugandan government arm, and so we work very well with our joint ventures. We do have quarterly engagements. We have quarterly engagements together with our stakeholders. So the whole tripartite comes together. The stakeholders on one hand, the oil companies on one hand, and then we basically map out or share what it is, listen, this is what we're doing, and this is not what going so well, how do we pick it up? So we engage our stakeholders, learn from one another, and pick up the things that we need to be, and basically to make sure we're on track to 2025, the time for first oil. And so that's the kind of collaboration we're talking about. Now we have the regulator, the Petroleum Authority of Uganda. That one also would be participating in these quarterly engagements so that they as well are able to monitor if and when things need to be picked up or what's going well. Yeah, so those are the kind of partnerships we have. And the engagements, apart from working together, there are those deliberate engagements we have with our stakeholders, giving them briefs and basically lighting the way for them in terms of where we're going for 2025.
Okay, so how should Ugandans expect to benefit? Actually, I think you talked about it even. You talked about like the, being given money, those who have been moved from one place to another comfortably, construction of,
jobs.
And jobs. I want you to answer this. Are we on track, because you talked about the set year is 2025.
Yes.
So are we on track?
Yes.
Are we doing the right thing?
Confidently, we're on track. When you hear that a rig is being set up, it's being assembled, and spudding has taken place, and drilling has begun, and this is 2023.
Yes.
Then you know we're on track, because definitely all this is happening just as we move towards first oil in 2025. Yes, we're on track. So all these other things on the parallel in terms of completing the compensation for the Eacop, so that too is constructed in line with the spudding that has happened on the other side. All that is moving in tandem, so that as you're finishing this, the pipeline is also ready, and the refinery is right behind, and so yes, with all these projects are moving one after another, one between the parallel to the other, and we are on track for 2020.
Okay, I want to, as we finalize, I want you both to give us your final remarks about, well, we can generalize it, the projects, the different things that UNOC is doing. We'll start with you, Angel. Give us your...
Yes, just finally, one thing that I wanted to mention is another thing Ugandans should expect is to transition from using charcoal and firewood to LPG. That's one thing that people should really look forward to, and just to basically also decrease on the deforestation that's currently plaguing the country. And yes, please follow us on our social media pages, our website, and our website.
Okay. And then with you, Sarah, we finalize with you.
Yeah. I think mine is really the encouragement word. Like you said, apart from being on track, this is our oil. It's a resource we're going to enjoy. Everything possible is being done so that the environment and everything is kept well. We'll enjoy our resource. We're advantaged to be in this country at this time, because this is when a lot of construction and development and opportunities are being set out there to the suppliers she talked about. But my parting word, even if you have more information you would like from us, you can reach us on our telephone number 0312 444 600. You can reach us on 0312 444 600, or you can drop us an email. Drop us an email at info@unoc.co.ug. So let's keep the conversation and the communication lines open. We're very happy to offer you everything you want to know about the oil and gas.
I'd like to thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Angel, for coming through and giving us some insight on some of the projects that UNOC is, taking on. And from what you have explained this evening, I do see that we are really on right track, of course, on the right track for fast oil come the 2025. Thank you so much, ladies, for coming. And I want to thank you also for being a good viewer tonight. And I hope you have learned something from what the ladies have discussed today on oil and gas projects. And you've been updated on how far the different projects are going as per oil and gas. I'm Lauryn Masiika Kazimoto. Up next is UBC News Tonight with Kijana Ngoma Edward Rukidi. For now, good night.